I desperately want to like Immortal. I really do. In universe, this man is the first superhero. He freed the slaves. My people have been freed because of this man. And in season 1, he was low-key putting in that work, taking out Discount Spider-Man Vulture. But man, it gets harder and harder to defend this guy. He gets his cheeks clapped every episode and gets his body ripped apart left and right and left. And even after death, he still gets disrespected. I mean, this variant of Mark chucked his head through a duplicate clone, and his head lands to another duplicate's head, showing that he has died yet again. The disrespect is crazy, and if you don't think about it, you'd swear it's easier to get into this man's body than Lana Rhodes. These Virtumites make it look so easy. Like, at this point, I could probably no-diff the Immortal. Like, honestly, like I said before, if you watch season 1 Immortal and compare him to season 3, you'd swear this man gets weaker every time he dies because he was kind of putting in that work in season 1. But then, something hit me. I had a realization. Everybody's out here talking about the Immortal is the worst character, he's a fraud. Actually, no, the Immortal is not a fraud. I'm going to be this man's lawyer and defend him. And I'll start with this. Have you guys watched Jujutsu Kaisen? Okay, wait, hold on now. Stay with me. This man, Jogo, gets bullied left and right and he gets punked every time he's on screen. I mean, this man was literally used as the tutorial enemy for Yuji Itadori to learn how domain expansions and curses work. Gojo did not take this man seriously at all. But here's the thing. Gojo is the strongest. And the next fight Jogo is in, he's fighting Sukuna. And Sukuna was heavily holding back. And this man Gato said, of all 20 fingers of Sukuna, Jogo is maybe 8 of those fingers. And that's being generous. But here's the thing, Sukuna is also the strongest. So while this man gets bullied every time, he gets into fights with the strongest characters in universe. So while this man gets bullied every time he gets into fights, he's still one of the strongest characters in universe, like top 5 at least. If you put this man in the ring with just about any other character in Jujutsu Kaisen, he stomps. Jogo is leagues above most of the cast, but he's leagues below Sukuna and Gojo. So put it like this. Most of the cast is in the C tier category in power and strength, and Jogo is A tier, Sukuna and Gojo being in S tier of course. But the gap between A tier and S tier is so thick, it makes Jogo look like a jobber, a fraud. But he's constantly fighting the top 1%. The Immortal is strong, stronger than most on Earth. But the problem is, his biggest fights are against some of the most powerfulest characters in universe. Let's break down some of his fights and do some power scaling, if you will. This is going to be an Immortal power scaling rank session. Pause on that. So we're going to start this one off with the Immortal throwing Rip-Off Vulture into space. I don't know the calculations, but I imagine that's pretty powerful. Then he gets ambushed by Omni-Man. But who does Omni-Man attack first? Exactly my point! He attacks the Immortal first. Omni-Man knows the Immortal is his biggest threat on Earth. And we know the existence of other heroes in universe because of the Invincible Wars. So, if Omni-Man knows the Immortal is his biggest threat, Immortal, but in universe, Spawn exists, at least in the comic books. So, if Omni-Man thinks the Immortal is his biggest threat, that means the Immortal scales above Spawn, a character who is multiversal with immeasurable speed. And the only way he can die is with heavenly weapons. But that's not all. Spawn, after eating the forbidden fruit given to him by the mother, became equal to God and Satan and stated that he can fight them both for all of eternity. And he defeated the entire army of the 8th sphere of hell and destroyed the combined forces of heaven and hell, wiping out all life on earth in the process, putting him at least low complex multiverse level. But the rank isn't over yet, because when he said he can fight God and Satan, he also says it would just be them fighting for all of eternity because Spawn has already won. That means Spawn is an outerversal being. Omni-Man targeted the Immortal first because he's his biggest threat? If he's the biggest threat and not Spawn, that means the Immortal scales way above him. And well, what do we have here? Who is the last person to die in this Guardians of the Globe versus Omni-Man fight? It was the Immortal. And instead of using his hacks abilities and his above heaven and hell scaling, all he does is ask,
Why? Why?
why? If Immortal truly locked in, Omni-Man would be dead. But Immortal saw him as a friend because he is still a human being. A human being who watched all of his loved ones die before his very eyes for generations. For generations, all of his loved ones, his lovers, his friends, his family, all died. And he finally found the one person that wouldn't die. Somebody that will live as long as him naturally. Which is why he didn't take out the invincible variant version of Mark, because again, Immortal and Omni-Man were boys. So Immortal should still have a soft spot for Mark, even though it's an evil variant version of him. Look, put it in perspective. If your mother from an alternate universe pulled up trying to kill you, you would be hesitant to get physical and defend yourself. It would only make sense because it's your mom. Even though this version of your mom is a sociopath trying to kill you, that's still your mom. Look, guys, like, listen to me. The Immortal isn't a fraud. I promise you. And peep this. In Season 2, this man almost kills an alternate version of Mark, and he would have if Omni-Man didn't pull up to stop him. And look up this. These two people kidnap Mark mid-date so he can kill the Immortal that took over the world in the future. Now look, maybe I overranked a little bit with the power scaling, but Immortal isn't a pushover like that. Immortal is a strong character, but all of his ops are leagues above him. Just like I said earlier with Jogo, with Joe Goat, because he's the MVP of Jujutsu Kaisen, let's be real here. The Immortal is an A-tier character surrounded by C-tier characters, and all of his ops are the strongest in universe. And the strongest in universe are leagues above him. He's not a fraud, but man, I'll admit, it is embarrassing to even attempt to defend the Immortal. Like, I really want to, but with every new season that comes, it gets harder and harder to. Like, this dude couldn't kill an invincible variant, but Rexplode was able to. Ain't no way, boy. Boy ain't no way, boy. Boy ain't no way, boy. How can this man, whose only power is to blow things up, be able to beat a Mark, but the Immortal can't? Not to mention, this dude said, I want to retire. My boy, this 20-something-year-old man is a regular human being. He still got back up to fight. He doesn't have the luxury of coming back from the death. If he dies, he's gone. He gone. And he ended his life with a W. A D-tier character on the power scaling scale caught a monumental win against a B, maybe A-tier version of Mark on the power scaling scale. Yeah, the Immortal might be a fraud for real. Like, I might have to take everything I said back. Like, I can't defend this man. His only win was freeing my people, but according to the future we saw in Season 3, he got us in a worse position than we were in before in the past centuries ago. So, like, I can't even give him that W. Man, this guy stinks. I'm tired of this show, man. Anyway, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're done here.